Welcome back. Today, working on the Supra again. We are getting rid of this. So, I bought some new parts. We've got this Mishimoto twin fan shroud, and we're going to install it today. So, without any further ado, let's get into it.
What we're starting off with here is when you put a shroud in on a radiator, you have to have some way to seal it to the shroud. So Mishimoto includes some weather stripping with an adhesive on the side or on the back to put on the outside of the shroud. So here you see me lining the shroud with the weather stripping so we can get an airtight seal so that our fans will be as efficient as possible.
The next step is to begin the wiring. So what you're seeing here is I am cutting off the connectors that came with the fan, as I'm not going to reuse them, and I'm linking the two power and ground wires for each fan together so that I can just have one wire going to the power and one going to the ground as opposed to doing two. So essentially I'm just joining the power and ground for the fans.
Alright, so my camera died while finishing up this last jumper harness here. So this is all still very rough. I saw you saw me fiddling with it. The shroud, the bottom tab isn't right. I think it's because my radiator's not the stock one. So I need to do some fiddling with that, get the bottom tab to line up. So it's just kind of loosely in here now. But when I plug these two connectors together, which obviously I need to heat shrink the whole thing, or shroud the whole thing, and change the way it's routed. But if I can do this one-handed, let you heard him there for a second. Come on. E-fans are So sweet. I'm going to, relay is on its way here. I'm going to make a cut in these wires. Splice in a relay with a trigger switch that is going to be in the car. I'm thinking that I'm going to take out of the center console. Hang on 1 second, bear with me. Oh, this is loud. I'm going to take out the Thames button and put in a block off plate and then put my switch there. So that's how we'll turn on the fans.
So the first steps here for me wiring in this switch, I'm coiling up the 2 wires I need to run through the cabin out to the engine bay. I'm just using the trick where you put it in a vise and then put the other end in a drill and let it spin itself together just to make it easier to run through the hole I have in my firewall. After that, I've already started cutting and splicing the relay in. So what you're going to see is you're going to see me finishing doing that. I'm adding a bunch of butt connectors here just to make sure it all works before I go through and solder and hardwire and heat shrink it all back together.
Alright, so the fan switch is finished being installed. I use the factory trim bezel here for the Thames system. It's deleted on my car. It didn't work when I bought the car. But so I installed this switch here, and when I flip it, the fans turn on. So that's finished. Now all that's left is to finish mounting the shroud. Alright, this is what I ended up with. It's just trial to make sure that this will work. But shroud's fully tightened down. I'm now going to start the car and make sure it holds operating temperature. Also, how freaking oily this thing is. If I ever have to pull the motor, I'm gonna power wash the fuck out of it. But Something's leaking over there. I don't know what it is, but... Well, alright. Time to start. Make sure it maintains operating temp. So, I mean, car held idle, which was good. I bet the fan's still on. It pushed a shit ton of air. I still need to loom this, but I can do that off camera. But, yeah. It's not super hot air. The radiator's still hot as shit. They're pulling air though, so it's good. Car will just won't over. I mean, I didn't have the fans on forever. Car just won't go above operating temp at idle. I don't know if that's my temp sensor hooked up wrong or something, but it said it was overheating when I was driving. But I don't know. I'm glad the fans are in because that's an insurance policy. Even if the temp gauge is reading wrong, I know the car won't overheat. So that's good. I was shooting base timing. I think I was doing it right. It says the car's idling at like 13 degrees, which I think is right. But I don't know. I need to mess with the distributor some. Because I never did set base timing after I put it all back together. Let me turn this fan off. So I can talk. Other than that though, I think that's going to do it for this video. I mean, fans, redid the bracket. It's kind of janky, but it's temporary. Just to get it back on the road, and then I can do some fixing of that later. I'm gonna drive it soon. It's pouring down rain right now, so that's why I'm not testing the car. But that's all the time I have for today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. G-A.